Welcome to the Western Gate,
to the Sunshine State, where thousands live the way millions
wish they could.
At the dawn of the 21st century, Pensacola, Florida, with its rich history, was poised to celebrate its 450th anniversary. Then, disaster struck. September 16th, 2004. Hurricane Ivan. The storm's 130-mile-per-hour winds, heavy rains, and 12-foot storm surge wreaked havoc and left thousands homeless. The storm exposed the poverty in the community as Rebuild Northwest Florida tried to repair and rebuild homes. It also was the genesis of the community Maritime Park, as 3 visionary leaders joined together to revitalize the city and restore its spirit with a project that would pull all of its people together. Admiral Jack Fetterman envisioned a maritime museum on the nearly 30 acres of waterfront property across from City Hall, though he was concerned with the lack of infrastructure around the location. Businessman Quint Studer saw not only a ballpark for his Pensacola Pelicans, but also a multi-use facility on the waterfront that the entire community could enjoy. John Kavanaugh, the president of the University of West Florida, saw the importance of a university presence downtown on the waterfront. Together with Mayor Emeritus Vince Wibbs, they envisioned a public-private development that would include a museum, a conference center, a beautiful waterside amphitheater, and the stadium, a showplace not only for sports, but also for festivals, concerts, theater, celebrations, and more.
These individuals came together, Quint Studer, Admiral Fetterman, Vince Wibbs, Dr. John Kavanaugh met with City Manager Tom Bonfield, and the synergy they created really brought us out of Hurricane Ivan with an exciting project that could bring the community together as a beacon of hope.
And like all of us, we were just trying to recover, and Jack and the city and Quint Studer were instrumental in making that happen.
We knew after Hurricane Andrew what Miami and Homestead did in rebuilding their community. They picked a central project that would excite the community and were very successful in going forward.
So Jack threw himself into this project. He believed it was the right thing not only for the Aviation Museum, which is his first love, but the right thing for the community.
What made the Community Maritime Park really attractive to city leaders was that no tax dollars would be used to pay for it. The site was in the CRA, the Community Redevelopment Agency District, a special downtown area where a portion of its taxes go into a special fund designed to help revitalize downtown.
The property in the downtown core will actually be the only properties that fund this park, while the city has stepped up to back these bonds so that we could get a lower interest rate. All of the bond payments will come from the Community Redevelopment Agency.
The Maritime Park was a real rallying cry for young adults or young professionals in this community. It showed that leaders cared, they wanted to hear from us, and that they wanted us to stay in this community.
Whether you're a majority company or a minority company, there was a covenant with community that said everybody was going to be included, and there would be an inclusion document called the Covenant with Community that made an opportunity available for everyone in our community.
I think one thing you've seen with regard to this whole effort is how all of our community has come together. Black, white, rich, poor, everybody's going to have something at this park that they can enjoy.
In 2005, Quint Studer, Admiral Fetterman, and Jack Kavanaugh, former president of UWF, came together and they presented a potential project plan to the City of Pensacola City Council. And from that plan, we took it out into the community and said, you know, again, we need something for downtown. We need a place for our young people to go, to be able to look better for economic development attraction. And then they asked the community, okay, now we've gone to our government officials and presented this idea. Let's ask you guys what you want.
They selected a world-renowned designer, Ray Gendros, Urban Design Associates, and they brought Ray in to start listening to the community, to hear about the needs of the community, and then to put together the ideas and create a project that not only was world-class, that met all the needs of the different various partners, but also was what our community wanted. The Community Maritime Park project has evolved to the design we have today from various reasons. First of all, we have received input from our master developer with his planners and his planning team looking at not only aesthetically and functionally how it works, but also economically. How do we create a center for the community that is vibrant and alive and active, but it can also generate revenue?
Let me tell you about the commitments that Quinn has made in this project. He's donated $2.25 million to the Maritime Museum. He wanted to put it in the stadium, but he put it in the Maritime Museum because it could get doubled. He's committed $1,750,000 in a 10-year lease for the use of the stadium. He's committed all annual profits from the baseball team, a minimum of $250,000 a year for 5 years, will go to the CMPA. He is committed to build an office building that will be $12 million, create jobs in its construction, be a beacon to attract companies to our community because we offer space, and will create a tax roll that will benefit the CRA.
It really is an unusual, one-of-a-kind agreement. We've never seen a sports owner wanting to sign a 10-year lease guaranteeing the revenues, guaranteeing profits from the company back to the entity that runs the stadium. And in looking at the agreements around the country, especially for affiliated baseball, no one has those types of agreements. Many communities, they build a stadium without having a team, and then they go out and basically give that stadium to the team to come and relocate to their community. We're fortunate we have the team in Pensacola that wants to come here and really has gone so far above and beyond anything that's usual and customary in these types of arrangements. No one would make that deal. Absolutely no one would make that deal.
I do enjoy a good old style. I don't watch most of them. I watch the original series. That's fine. 3, 2.
Working with the referendum was exciting because we got our first glimpse into what the park was really had the potential of being. It was exciting to get the public feedback going door to door and really see firsthand the public excitement and the need for a project like this.
I think for the first time the referendum signaled to young professionals, people like Christine Carson and Ashley Hodge and Reed Russian and Lumen May, that one person could make a difference, that you didn't have to have money or influence or even name recognition to make a difference. All you really had to do was just get involved.
The design of the Maritime Park has been guided by these principles. Provide a focus of civic life for the entire city. Build a keystone that brings together diverse communities. Bring the waterfront to the city and the city to the waterfront. Celebrate Pensacola's unique character and history. Balance public uses with private development. Create an active waterfront with a diverse range of uses. And provide buildings with uses that animate the public spaces.
The partners that they had, Hatchmont McDonald, HKS Architects, which is the stadium architect, Sasaki Associates, which is a landscape architect company out of Boston. They recently did the Beijing Olympic Green. Just the best of the best came together for a project in Pensacola, Florida. So you scratch your head sometimes thinking why these world-renowned companies would want to spend this time here on 30 acres when they're doing thousands of acre projects around the world in the leading cities of every nation. And they gave us the time, the effort, and expertise as they would anyone, and it really resulted in a great product.
It's been exciting to see how many people really want this project to happen despite all of the troubles we've had and how slow it seems to have been. But we've really done a great job in this economy with what we've had, and timing-wise, we've moved this along relatively quickly considering the scope and the complexity of some of the issues we're dealing with.
The design that came out of all of the public input sessions and working with all the stakeholders that Ray Gendros created really caught the imagination of everyone. It met everyone's needs and the overall goals of maintaining the waterfront for the people. And if you look at the perimeter of this project, all of it is public open space. You can walk 360 degrees around this property and never be encumbered along the waterfront. It's open, it's a huge park space where people can go and gather and enjoy not only Pensacola but Pensacola Bay in one of the most amazing waterfront settings that we've seen. We've got the multi-use stadium on the property, the Maritime Museum in a prominent location it's just going to draw so many people there when it's created. And then we've kept the private development all north of that so that the easy access for traffic, people getting in and out, coming to offices, are all in an attractive location along Main Street, which is the major thoroughfare, but they're not packing into the south area.
The Maritime Museum is such an interesting project, and the possibilities are really, I know it's a trite phrase, but they're really endless. We have such a rich historical past. Everything that came to America, to this new country, came by sea. We, as one of the oldest cities in the United States, certainly can tell that story better than anybody else. Because cities from the ocean were laid out in a certain way, just the way the Spanish laid them out in Spain, the way the British who later came out, and the British governor actually put together our streets and things. This area has a story to tell, not only just for Pensacola, but for all of America, because this is the way America was formed.
As we talked about earlier with the synergy of the Community Maritime Park, each piece coming together to make a whole that's greater, everyone really has focused on the multi-use stadium as the primary attractor to bring people to this site that, first of all, will create a lot of foot traffic, but when you're going to an event at this type of facility, it's more than just that event. You want to do something prior and something post. So you'll come down and go to dinner at a restaurant and then simply walk across the street to the multi-use facility. And then afterwards you'll walk the promenade and you'll go to the restaurants and bars and entertainment venues on the site. And that really is going to become a central hub for our community, a place to meet up and bring everyone together.
When the New Markets program was first introduced to the city and to CMPA, the thought then was, let's use this money toward the museum, because the university, of course, cannot come up with that kind of money in these current economic times. Well, of course, over the evolution of it, the university discovered that operationally, as well as for the additional monies that needed to build it, it was not the right time, and I respected that decision. So then what do we do with the benefits of the New Market tax credits? We put it back into a lot of the amenities and enhance existing parts of the project to make it that much better. So through the evolution of the project, the concept remained the same, a very nice redevelopment of downtown, but having in place the infrastructure and the amenities to draw additional economic stimulus to downtown. But the main hard asset that the investors look toward in the project, of course, is the major structure of the project, which happens to be now the stadium. And it's very important to the investors that there's something tangible down there that creates the impact they're looking for.
What's on the discussion today that we've all heard about around in the community is the idea that let's replace this stadium with something else. I don't believe you can stop, engineer, create, do, and build anything that meets the time commitments of the New Market tax credits. So any departure from the path that we've started puts the New Market tax credits at risk.
Well, I tell you, people get caught up in just this baseball park, but I see it as a multi-use park. We all have the opportunity to go down to Disney and look at the AAU and the USSS, all the tournaments that they run on the Disney campus. And it's not because it's a baseball field or a football field, but it's a multi-use facility. So we're going to be able to have concerts. We're going to be able to bring our Little League football team and participate in Little League football in a nice stadium, and grandmother and grandfather and these kids get the opportunity to play Little League football on the water. We'll be able to recruit great baseball tournaments, that bring thousands of dollars in, and head tax and bed tax, because these little teams want to go to great facilities like we see in St. Pete, like we see in Dallas, Texas, like we see in Orlando. So I mean, I think that this is going to be great, not just for the Pelicans, and I'm excited about the Pelicans, but I'm more excited about what it's going to do for young people.